We're recapping what happened yesterday with Walker Buehler and his overall pitch metrics from yesterday. And I really want to, since we kind of ran out of time, I'll just kind of recap and we'll put that graphic back up there. But when we look at what Walker Buehler did yesterday, and you look at the overall data, again, his stuff looked close to league average, but his breaking ball was his best weapon. And the main takeaways from Walker Buehler yesterday was fastball velocity slightly below prime Buehler, sweeper generated a lot of swing and miss, good pitch mix, whiff rate was solid, and for a spring outing, the underlying stuff looked competitive, but not dominant. You look at the top right of the screen, it gives you the game stats. And again, 3 innings, 2 earned runs, 2 hits, 4 strikeouts, a walk, no home runs. Pretty clean line for a guy like Walker Buehler. Only 2 hits allowed and 4 strikeouts. If you look at the left graphic, the release point, you're looking for consistency and repeatable arm slot. And this graphic shows where the ball leaves his hand. Buehler's release cluster is tight, which means mechanics look consistent, no obvious arm slot issues, delivery is very repeatable, and the arm slot shows about a 50-degree angle, which is a 3/4 slot that is typical form for Walker Buehler. You look at the middle chart. This is the movement profile. We heard Walker Buehler talk about this in his post-game interview about how he liked the pitch shape of all of his pitches. And you look at the colored clusters, and each colored cluster is a different pitch shape. The red is the four-seam fastball. The green is the changeup. Yellow's the sinker. Purple's the knuckle curve. Orange is the cutter. Blue's the sweeper and slider family. So both of those pitches are in that particular category. And what this tells us is his pitch show clear separation and movement, which is good because hitters are seeing a rising fastball. They're seeing big sweepers, which, by the way, is a pitch that he put in this week, as he mentioned in the post-game press conference. Dropping curveball, arm side run on sinker and changeup, and the variety is key to his pitch mix approach, which, as he talked about in the post-game, was something that he needs to really rely on because his breaking ball stuff was some of his best stuff yesterday, and he knows based on velocity of his fastball, which we're going to get to, he can't be a guy that relies on a fastball 50% of the time. He threw his fastball yesterday 25% of the time. He threw 7 pitches yesterday, 7 different types of pitches. His changeup, he threw 15%. His sweeper, he threw 15%. The sinker and the cutter both came in at 13% usage. He threw his knuckle curve 11% of the time, and he threw his slider 9%, which confirms something important with Walker Buehler. He threw 7 different pitches, as I mentioned. This is the pitch lab style sequencing, not just a 3-pitch mix, which is good for a guy like Walker Buehler. Now, to the velocity. Velocity was not good on the fastball. 92.4 average velocity. You look at that, not great because of the fact that prime Walker Buehler is 95, 97. So a little lighter than the peak velocity you're used to seeing for Walker Buehler. But it's not alarming for spring training, and it's not alarming for early buildup. And as he mentioned in the postgame with Sam Levitt that we just played in the last hour, this is something that he's going to work on for the rest of spring, is getting that built up a little bit. But the other speeds are way different, and there's a good velocity separation between pitches, which is great for pitch sequencing. Changeup was at 86, sweeper was at 81, knuckle curve was at 76. So even though he's throwing his fastball at 92, those other pitches are coming in way slower than his fastball, which is a good mix-up as a pitcher. Now, we were kind of on the spin rate a little bit before we got cut off on the last segment. So what spin rate does is it creates movement with the pitch. So key examples yesterday for Walker Buehler. He threw his sweeper, brand new pitch, by the way. Just put in a new sweeper this week from the horse's mouth. He had 2,664 RPMs on his sweeper, which is strong spin for a sweeping slider. His knuckle curve, 2,547 RPMs. That's solid curveball spin out of the knuckle curve, which is good news for Walker Buehler. So far, spin rates look really good, but the fastball velocity wasn't great. Here's the caveat to that, though. Induced vertical break. That measures how much the pitch resists gravity. That's what that stat means. And all you need to look for in an induced vertical break is if it's above 15 inches, it's good. If it's above 18 inches, it's elite. His fastball yesterday, 17.9 inches on the induced vertical break. That is excellent ride on his fastball. The hitters think the fastball is rising on their eyes, which changes the path of their swing, but it's not. It just gives the perception of that. So the hitters are perceiving the fastball staying up longer, but it's not. It's still falling as it's coming into the plate. And even though the velocity is lower, the shape of the fastball is good. That is a positive sign for a guy who, by the way, mentioned still in his post-game interview that the first time he has not felt any pain in his elbow was 4 weeks ago. Horizontal break. This is how much a pitch moves sideways. His sinker, 14.7 inches. That is big arm side run for his sinker. His sweeper, negative 13.3 inches. That's massive horizontal sweep. And this pitch was likely his best weapon, which is interesting to me, Frank, because his best pitch yesterday, he mentioned, and we've said it multiple times, they just put in this week. That's a great sign for a guy like Ruben Nieblin, the pitching coach.
And I think you also hit on part of the reason why is that no one's seen him throw that pitch, so it's not what's expected when you see Walker Buehler. So there is a little bit of deception as it comes to that pitch, but yeah, it is a very good sign because I mean you could not have seen the pitch before and know not to swing at it because it looks like garbage, but they were taking hacks at it, and the pitch looked good too.
Let's talk about his extension. We talked a little bit about this with Joe Musgrove yesterday. It's how far down the mound he releases the ball. For Walker Buehler, it's 6.3 feet, which is good extension, and that helps make that 92-mile-an-hour fastball play a little faster to the hitter's eyes. That's big when you're not, hitting the high velocity that you used to hit, in your prime. And I still think his velocity is going to go up a little bit during spring. Now, in terms of his pitch quality metric, his pro stuff plus, again, all of these metrics out there, and we're trying to break it down for you so you can understand a little bit more when you see some of these stats at ballparks. Because, Frank, they're starting to show a lot of these analytics at ballparks. And at Petco, I see these numbers all the time, and I go, what do these things mean? But we're going to try to help that a little bit more. So when you look at the Pro Stuff Plus, it's really telling you how good the pitch is. And when you look at the scale, anytime you see a graphic in baseball that comes with a plus sign at the end of it, what that means is it's comparing it to everybody else in Major League Baseball. And the average player in Major League Baseball in all of those statistical categories, so it could be ERA plus, it could be WRC plus, it could be OPS plus, whatever it may be, just know that 100 is an MLB average player. So anything over that's going to be above average for a Major League player, and anything below that will be below average. So here's Walker Buehler's pitches. His sweeper was a 110 on the Pro Stuff Plus. I mean, so we could, and I think it's a little bit of a factor about his pitch being the most effective with the fact that nobody has seen it. But I want to say that the fact that his 110, he got a 110 on the Pro Stuff Plus for his sweeper, which is in the excellent elite category, Frank, and he just started throwing it this week. I think that's a huge sign to why, he's probably getting the benefit of the doubt that nobody's seen it, but at the same time, there's a lot of life to this particular pitch for Walker Buehler.
Yeah, like I said, it's you can go out there and surprise people with it, but if it looks bad and if it's not doing what the pitch is meant to do, then you're not going to be fooling anyone. So he definitely has got something spinning and working with that pitch that is making it as good and as deceptive as it is, just beyond nobody having seen the pitch before.
So as we continue through this, sweeper was excellent. Sinker was 103, slightly above average. Knuckle curve 102, slightly above average in the Pro Stuff Plus. Slider was about 100, about an average deal. His changeup was under, his fastball was under. The key takeaway from this was his breaking ball stuff graded the best. Fastball graded slightly below average. That's something that could be improved on. When you look at his whiff rate, swing and miss stuff, how often hitters miss when swinging, sweeper was at 60% whiff rate. Elite swing and miss. His sinker was at 50%, also very strong. Changeup 25% solid, and his overall 33% whiff rate very, very good out of Walker Buehler, which is a very encouraging sign out of his first outing in a Padres uniform in a stadium game. When you look at the run value, that is how effective a pitch is at preventing runs. Negative numbers are good. Positive numbers, not so good. The sweeper, negative 2.5. Again, the sweeper for Walker Buehler was electric yesterday. Something to be encouraged about. Changeup, negative 1.9. Fastball was plus 1.1. Fastball was the least effective pitch in his outing. The good news is the induced vertical break on that fastball, but overall, got to get the velo up a little bit for Walker Buehler. So the analytics say his breaking ball arsenal looks sharp. The fastball wasn't dominant, and that's pretty normal profile for an early spring and a pitcher building velocity.
Yeah, I mean, a solid spring training start for him, and I'm sure accomplished most of the goals that he was setting out for. Maybe missed on a couple, but overall, a very, very good outing, if not for him and a Padre career, very good outing as far as, his overall career in baseball health is concerned.
Yeah, Walker Buehler's outing yesterday was actually pretty encouraging when you look at the pitch data. Fastball velocity was a little lighter at about 92, but the shape was still good, and his breaking ball looked nasty. His sweeper generated a 60% swing and miss rate and graded as his best pitch of the night. Overall, his stuff graded almost exactly league average, which for early spring is a good sign that he's trending toward being a reliable rotation arm. So the three takeaways you have to get out of this. One, sweeper was his best pitch, 60% whiff rate, excellent movement. Two, fastball velocity slightly down, 92 miles an hour versus mid 90s peak. And three, he had a very deep pitch mix yesterday, 7 pitches and solid swing and miss overall. The bottom line, Walker Buehler looked like a pitcher still building towards peak form, but the swing and miss stuff was already there. That's an encouraging sign as Walker Buehler tries to be the 5th starter of the San Diego Padres.